our module has almost come to an end. That simply means if I look at the specific module itself, till now we were done till module number 11. That is the last module A, unit number 11, which is the last chapter of module A. So let's quickly move on and talk about this specific module. Acha, what do we mean by this and what's exactly the thing about the bank audit and inspection? Okay. What is the primary aim of concurrent audit in commercial banks according to RBI guidelines? Now, if I look at the concurrent audit is an audit which is done every single month, right? So while you are working, we are checking. That's the particular ideology behind a concurrent audit. Matlab, it's obvious if I'm an auditor and I'm coming on an annual audit, I cannot check the things which are done over a period of 12 months in a few days. That doesn't sound practical. And if the particular bank or the particular branches are super important, then leaving it on the annual audit is very risky. So, as per the RBI guidelines, certain banks are required to go on concurrent audit, and a few are required only the annual ones. It would vary. So, when we have concurrent audit in our bank, so what will happen? Every single month, internal auditors would be there. They will be conducting a concurrent audit. They will prepare the long form audit report, that is LFAR, and they will also prepare this LFAR, and then they are always reviewing the books of accounts, vouchers, TDS, returns, and all those important aspects of the audit there, right? And who's the auditor? The auditor is a particular chartered accountant who's working under ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Basically they become that's the organization under which they are registered, right? So what is the primary aim of concurrent audit in commercial banks? Maximizing shareholder wins, or detecting the frauds and ensuring that the accuracy is there, and then conducting regular financial reporting or implementing market strategies. In this case, what we are doing is we are detecting the frauds and ensuring that the books of accounts are absolutely correct. Okay. Then comes what aspects are covered by revised guidelines on current audit system in commercial banks by RBI. Now, if I talk about the revised guidelines, what does it exactly cover? Acha, first of all, everyone, if you find the series helpful, please go ahead and like the entire series. Go ahead if you have been reviewing the classes just now. So every class I've covered only and only IIBF book itself. There is no other place where I collect the questions from. Along with this, you get the questions from the previous examinations as well. So a few questions are taken from the previous papers from similar paper pattern areas, so that you learn from it, so that you can understand what kind of difficult questions can be asked from it. So if you find this series helpful, then please keep on motivating me, because I think you are the ultimate source of the work ultimately, right? That means if I talk about the entire hard work that we put in it, it's because of you. So if you keep on supporting us, our way of working can definitely be improved further. It can be overall, this would be a joyous journey if you're there, right? And if you're there, then show your presence, like this particular video, and at the same time share it among your peers. Okay. Acha, here comes the question regarding what aspects are covered in the revised guidelines of concurrent audit: coverage, audit report, tenure, reporting system, remuneration, tenure, accountability, appointment of auditors. Then comes a review of the effectiveness, or the last one is coverage, appointment of auditors, and reporting systems. What would be the answer then? The correct answer is going to be coverage, appointment of auditors, as well as tenure. Tenure is the time period for which a particular person is basically chosen as an auditor. Then how are we appointing the entire people there, and how do we cover it? What is the coverage? Scope of audit. It's like you just cannot say, Anji, just check everything you see. No, they won't. You have to define what they are here to check, right? That is scope of audit. It is normally defined or determined before the audit starts. So the scope of audit is one of the first things to look forward to, that what is the particular area where the auditor has to work upon. Acha, next pointer. What is the significance of CAAT? We have talked about it yesterday even. Computer aided audit techniques in the audit process. Basically, what has happened is earlier the work was manual mode, you know. So then there was audit. Audit was normally done on the files and everything. It was easier. You had conclusive proofs. People signed it. Authentication is done. Everything was visible. Even one particular entry moving through different areas, you just have to open up and you can check it. Now the things have changed. Now the bookkeeping is not done manually. It is done through softwares. So basically now the working is on software utilization in the maximum way. And then audit trail is definitely difficult to trace key when the entry is put where it is exactly going. You have to review the particular books of accounts very carefully. And if you cannot do it that carefully, then how who will do it and how will you do it? One of the things is that you start using the apps itself. If they are using CBS software to record the books of accounts, to maintain their books of accounts, then why not the auditor find a software through which they can work? They replace auditors in the audit process. Nothing can replace an auditor. They process data on of audit significance and improve audit effectiveness and efficiency. Yeah, this is what we can say, because when you are providing them aided techniques through which their overall auditing quality becomes better, then why not? They are used for financial management, not really. They focus on manual audit procedure. Manual is just not something where you have computers. The computer aided means helped audit techniques, they are basically used only for one particular thing, that they process the audit significance and they help in correcting evidence as well as brings the efficiency and effectiveness. Acha, what's the difference between the two? If efficiency is to reduce cost and effectiveness is to do the work timely, everyone. How do we learn the difference between the two? There comes the T, there comes the C. So effective time and C efficiency cost. Done, everyone? Okay, here comes the next question. The next question says, what is the objective of cyber fraud guidelines according to RBI guidelines? Maximizing shareholder wealth, then safeguarding assets through security control measures, conducting information system audit, or assessing hardware efficiency. What would it be, everyone? Regarding the cyber fraud, regarding cyber fraud, one of the things that they have to work upon is uh, safeguarding assets to security. Basically, cyber fraud is basically just to make sure that there are no frauds happening in the organization. So basically, they are just looking forward towards the what is the objective? Objective of cyber fraud is B only. It's just an error. The answer is B. Okay? So the answer is actually B. When we talk about cyber fraud is basically the fraud which is done through computers, and the organizations have to safeguard themselves, because if they won't save themselves, who will do that for them? You know? Because public money is involved. RBI is always after their lives. Then SEBI, if you are listed company, you have to answer SEBI as well. You have to answer income tax department for the return filing. You have, if it's a banking company, then the banking regulation act is also applicable on them. So everything is not an easy thing for the bank. Now already it is basically challenging, right? Then what is the focus of IT services, information technology services, as per RBI guidelines? That is to ensuring data integrity, ensuring conducting information research, information system audit, or providing assurance on the effectiveness of internal control, or facilitating customer awareness programs. Why is it done, everyone? Basically, when we talk about the IT services, now the IT services are providing to make sure that the organization has a better control over its working. That's the basic reason for which we work. So the what is the focus of IT? IT is basically to provide assurance as well as to provide effectiveness of the internal control. Okay? So the answer is this. providing assurance on the effectiveness of the control. Next point. Uh, what is the statutory requirement? What is the statutory requirement that necessitates what statutory requirement necessitates the audit of annual financial system in banks? RBI, Banking Regulation Act, Master Circular, or SA on internal audit? When we're talking about audit of financial statements in the bank, it is actually the Banking Regulation Act 1949. SAs are basically standards on audit. So basically, SAs are given by ICAI, right? So they have been recommending all these audit standards that if you are doing any audit, then what are the basic things as a professional, as a CA, one person has to work. This is not only applicable on CAs. The standards on auditing are applicable at multiple areas, right? So if we talk about the applicability overall, it starts from the CAs only. Rest, the auditors, whosoever is being the auditor there, they will have to abide by the audit standards, or we call it standards on auditing. Okay. Now comes what is the SA on the internal audit. SA 14 issued by ICAI focuses upon compliance with legal regulations, maximizing shareholder wealth, procedure to be followed during internal audit in an IT environment, or conducting regular financial reporting. What would be the answer, everyone? If I look at SA 14 na, SA 14 is related to the area of internal audit. To help to for the internal audit na, this is related to the area of procedures to be followed in terms of internal audit, right? The internal auditor is basically the auditor of the organization itself. Matlab, they are the internal people of this organization. So that's why na, what happens is these people are going to give you a better view, because they know where the loopholes are and how to improve them even. And if you do not want to create a hike about it, how do you keep yourself and the organization away from any negative or bad light? So in this case, the correct answer would be the procedure to be followed during the internal audit in an IT environment or income tax environment. Sorry, in this case, it is information technology environment. Acha everyone, what is not mentioned in the potential use of CAT in audit procedures? Penetration testing, or in calculating interest, or then is monitoring customer satisfaction, or sampling programs to extract data for audit testing. When we talk about which one of the following is not, so when we look at the audit area, monitoring the customer transaction satisfaction is not the point. It's just a feedback system of the organization. Penetration testing is important if anybody who's undesirable, he's trying to enter, how do they react, how to save things up. Now that is just done to check that particular portion, nothing else. Done. So in this case, the correct answer is going to be monitoring the customer satisfaction. Much everyone, what is the importance of independent audit of financial statements for banks? What would be the answer? What is the primary importance of an independent audit? See, independent auditor definitely required badly, because if you are having an audit where you do not have your independence presence na, then what happens is the auditor is always under the influence of the organization. Wherever the organization puts it, he has to abide by that. So basically, internal auditor is basically a little separate from the organization hierarchy. He stays away from the organization's regular working. But the point is, when we talk about independent auditor, now when this particular auditor joins back the organization, he has nothing to do with the organization. He's focusing on multiple workings at the same time. So he's not concerned about a company who has given their books of accounts for review. Okay, so what is the primary importance? uh, Maximizing of shareholders um, wealth, then ensuring the companies with legal regulations, then facilitating and rapid changes in business conditions, and the last one is contributing to healthy, safe, and sound banking system. Done, everyone? What would be the answer in this case? What would be the answer, everyone, in this case? What is the primary importance of independence auditor? Independent auditor has no influence over the organization. He is someone who would come and study the organization, would give his report, and ultimately has an upper hand. So he is basically contributing towards a healthy, safe, and sound banking system. When he's reporting things, when he's telling things, when he's asking for things, that is important. What would be the answer in this case, everyone? That is contributing to health, safe, and the sound banking system. The banking system has definitely gone through major changes, but it is still currently having a little more stability, right? What would be the answer, everyone? What do you mean by the word statute in the statutory auditor? Statute means required by law. That's one of the basic things. A person with extensive audit experience, and then we have matured and compulsory budget in that case, and then is an auditor specializing in banking transaction or internal auditor appointed by the bank. Done, everyone? What would be the answer in this case? What would be the answer? What is the meaning of statute? When we talk about the term statute, the statute is required by law, mandated by the compulsory requirement by law. Acha, according to subsection 1 of the section 30 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, who is required to audit the balance sheet and P&L? A person qualified designated by bank, an auditor appointed by RBI, the person duly qualified under law, or CFO of the bank. What would be the answer? And any qualified person who is basically designated, or any auditor appointed by RBI, or there is any auditor, a person duly qualified under LOC for the first time being in force to be an auditor of the companies. Yeah, what would be the answer in this case, everyone? This is related to the area of the Banking Regulation Act only. Now, when we talk about this, it talks about the one of the most important areas, that any person who's duly or under which is under qualified under law is definitely not correct. Then what they do is, for the time being the answer is basically to there of the person who's duly qualified, because if you have to become an auditor, then you should be having the qualifications of the same, because the person who's going to check things whether they are correct or not, it first goes through those If I have to really do that, then we go through our working through our parents, and then we start working upon anything else that we're doing. You know, for example, if I talk about the auditor now, if he looks at the work there in the organization, he's a guiding spirit, he is the bloodhound, he's the watchdog. Even when anything has happened, the organization, they will always be available in the organization, है ना? And then when we talk about the growth of the organization, they're sitting in the board meetings and everything else. When we talk about the people who are working, who is actively participating, auditor being actively participating cannot work. He just as an auditor, he would review the books of accounts and specify, right? So this is the question, a person who's duly qualified by law. What is the primary criterion for eligibility of conducting the statutory audit of the banks? Statutory audit of the banks, statutory means required by law. Intense, extensive experience in the banking operations, membership of ICAI, recognition of banking management or approval of CAG. When you are having audit of the banks, you need to be a member of ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It is allowed only for all these people. Rather, when you start practicing, there are certain number of bank audits which the ICAI provides itself. Everybody and everyone, chaliye. Then before I end my session, everyone, our uh, Christmas sale is here. That means what can you do right now is go ahead and check out our website or our app for further details. What are we doing right now? Go on to the area of adda247.com, go on to the area of JIB CIB, go ahead and buy the JIB CIB Mahapack. What is JIB CIB Mahapack? You have JIB, you have CIB, you have English medium, you have bilingual, you have current batches and previous batches, and all the upcoming live batches, whatever we are coming up with. Uh, that too for a period of 12 months. If you buy, it is available for 24 months. One of the best benefits. You're not only working upon JIB but also includes the CIB. Plus, when you're preparing for this examination, further, we are covering all the subjects of JIB and including electives, all the subjects of CIB. Okay, so everything is covered here in one particular area. You get 1100 hours of classes, test series, ebooks, video courses, and whatnot. All you need to do is click on the term buy now, use the code Y541 and apply it, and you will get 81% discount. That is, it is available for 10,499 rupees only. So this is a beneficial area where it's something which is varied and is a little it is a little, or I would say extremely comprehensive when it comes to the subjecting area, right? So it covers all the subjects, it covers every single detail that is given in terms of your JIB syllabus, because everybody follows the IIBF book itself. But what you can get is you can get for maximum discount only now, right? So you can use the code Y541 and get the maximum discounts, everyone. So that's it for the day, everyone. We'll be meeting in the next class. Thank you, everyone.